The power of love is potent and explosive. For our contestants on Singles Inferno 2, you just can't deny it. This season saw many battles, unfortunately for only a select few men and women. In the final 2 episodes of this season of Singles Inferno, we witnessed the triumph of love.
I am the master matchmaker. I was right this whole time. I don't think I didn't see all your comments.
We all saw the look in Seolki's eyes when she was interacting with both Jin Young and Jong Woo, and we can see that there was a bit of conflict there. But it was apparent one choice had longevity and the other temporary pleasure. Each and every time Jin Young and Seolki spoke, there was fireworks and intense curiosity, but almost no substance. With Seolki largely giddily smiling the whole time and Jin Young doing his absolute best to express himself. However much his brutal honesty and his devil-may-care attitude was his charm, it was equally his downfall. When the time came to truly fight for Seolki, his last words to her were of doubt and hesitation, and then the actual final moment.
내가 슬기 씨 좋아하는 것 같아.
What? Are you kidding me? First there are sparks, then pining and yearning. Then came the doubt and hesitation. And finally you cap it off with a half-earnest confession? Meanwhile, your boy Jong Woo is fighting tooth and nail, pulling out all the stops and bringing out the charm.
나랑 커피 마시러 갈래?
That had to have been one of the smoothest pitches for Seolki ever. After finding out that she loves to go to coffee places and that he had run a coffee shop that she wanted to visit, he kept it simple and relevant. Jong Woo deserves that win. And yes, we did cry. Moving on to the rest of our contestants, it's a bigger mess in that department as only Sohee and Soeun walked out with the partner they chose. Leading up to the final decision, Sejun just could not get Sohee out of his mind and made it his life's mission to see that she was cared for and felt at ease. And we can't deny that approach and sincerity. W-Riz on all fronts. Youngjae and Soeun spend their last night in paradise in the same room they were in on their first night in paradise, and it's obvious here that nothing is getting in the way of these two. Their love blossomed like a K-drama romance with Hanbin suffering second lead syndrome. Jong Woo and Seolki's date was just adorable. They found out they were the same age and Seolki had already seen Jong Woo on social media thanks to her love of coffee. It's almost serendipitous. We can see the dynamic shift here. As opposed to being curious and promiscuous with Jin Young, Seolki is comfortable, at ease, and laughing with Jong Woo. Now, some would call that borderline friend zone, but as someone who has overcome the friend zone multiple times, it ain't eternal purgatory, because you want your partner to feel comfortable and at ease. You want them to express their true selves. And what we saw of Seolki on her date with Jong Woo was someone having fun, sharing interests with a potential partner, and truly collaborating in a conversation, compared with Jin Young, where Jin Young dominated the atmosphere with his presence, and Seolki, although enamored and taken by his charm, largely being reactive. In the end, Seolki actually does a great job of explaining why Jong Woo won.
깨트렸던 사람이었던 것 같아요. 내가 친구같이 잘 놀 수도 있고 저를 편하게 해주는 사람이 진짜 그때 내가 내 모습을 보여줄 수 있는 사람이지 않을까라는 생각이 들어서
Jin Young and Nadine seemed like a likely couple at the outset with their common interest and his likelihood of visiting the US for his content. And this interaction is largely what we were hinting at in our previous video. That his date with Nadine would mix things up enough for him that it ultimately hurt his chances with Seolki. And honestly, if he had chosen Nadine, she would have gone with him. But we can't fault someone for going with their heart. And so we end this season with Sejong, Minsu, Hanbin, Dongwoo, and Jin Young leaving Inferno empty-handed.
I called it. I called it.
True love waits.
When it came to the final predictions for the couples, I said Sohee, Sejun,
yes,
and then Jong Woo and
you
Seolki.
did.
Guys that were left and the girls that were left, they were comfortable with each other, talking to each other as friends.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be that way because like you try to go into these. I don't know. I've never been a contestant in any of these, but I guess you go with your heart, right? You all just kind of went after the same people. Of course, there's only winners that walk out. And so that's kind of what ended up happening. Oh, and you know what? Jong Woo came out on top. I was feeling the same way as the commentators, especially for Lee Da-hee, when she was just like, oh, I think there's still a chance for Jong Woo. You know, when Jin Young started to kind of say things to Seolki like, my life isn't really quite there yet. It was just kind of like all these seeds of doubt just like seeping into Seolki's head, and she was like, well, this person is not going to be there to support me whenever I need him. But Jong Woo, on the other hand, all I need to do is and Jong Woo will be there.
Some feelings of Nadine and Jin Young when they were on their date. A lot of their interests lined up and a lot of their potential in a partner, their ideal partner lined up, because Nadine was like, I'll be, mostly stuck in my work, and I will be okay.
That seemed like the relationship that would fit both.
Right, yeah, they're both busy, and then when they spend time together, they spend time together, and then they go back being busy. And then he's naturally going to the US.
And they both shoot guns.
And they both shoot guns, and she's in the US. He had his chance, and he went with the one that just couldn't figure out. I think that's the thing. I don't think he could figure out Silky. Young Jae and Soon. There's not much to say about these two. Like they came
were definitely
in,
like,
and then they left.
They were on their honeymoon.
Yes.
Yeah. It was just kind of interesting that, like we said before, like I think the cast just kind of followed their heart. Young Jae and Soon were just naturally drawn to each other.
Yeah, and there was, temporary or fleeting competition from Hanbin and Soe. Of course, Yoon Jae wouldn't give Soe the time of day, which we're thankful for Sejun for coming in and kind of shaking things up and taking her on that paradise date.
He was actually very comical.
Yeah, absolutely. He just like doing absolutely everything to make sure he was there for her. And Hanbin, his feelings were earnest, and she reciprocated that with like a respectful paradise date.
Right.
But in that day, she realized that she was missing Young Jae, and like that wasn't going to be a thing.
And then there's Jong Woo and Sejong, who seemed like those two would pair up really well together. But like Jong Woo, everyone just had this tunnel vision for Seolki. Never gave a chance.
Which is
for
the
anybody
thing.
else.
You don't see each other.
A lot of
right
missed
in front of
opportunities here.
The very, very late comer, which we'll talk about later on in terms of like whether or not there's going to be a third season. Minsu just like, it was like love at first sight for her, and she just could not take her eyes off of Jin Young. Before she had come there, Jin Young had already been talking with Seolki,
right,
and even Nadine up to that point, and so like she tunnel visioned
Jin Young, who's the busiest man in the island.
Now, Singles Inferno 3, the latecomers. Yes, they do shake up the competition with newfound feelings or sparking interest late in the game, but they also just don't have a lot of time. They only had 2 days.
I would rather that they came with Jin Young.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring in latecomers or new contestants,
that's way too
bring
late.
them all in.
Yeah, that's way too late.
And also going into season 3, I think that they should run it back. They should bring in all of the people that left single from season 1 and season 2 and put them all on the island. Okay, so there's this island with 2 sides in it. You've got one side with season 1's men and season 2's girls. And then the other side, you've got the reverse of that.
Sure.
So neither one of the partners or potential pair-ups know each other.
I think it would be better if you bring back either the men or the females, but pair them up with brand new contestants.
The main premise that I'm like pushing forward is that you give them
another
chance.
chance. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you thought I was wrong last week, leave it in the comment section below. I would like to know you guys personally. I'm just kidding. But yeah, let us know if you're happy or sad about the couples, if you thought Jin Young was going to go with Seolki, or if you thought Soen should have went with somebody else, or if you thought some of the other contestants should have paired up. Leave it in the comment section below. But like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos like it, and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications. But as always, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you guys in the next one.